as well as the Rush Jet and the Rush Marine are all back in full force as I'm going to go up here to grab Eddie, and oh good, Eddie actually gave me a health boost. You know, I actually got lucky enough. Most of the time he seemingly gives me an item boost when I don't want one. Of course, when I have full items, he's going to give me an item boost. When I have full health, usually that's when he gives me health, not when I actually need health. So I got lucky on that one. So we'll continue over, and now we have these fun little platforms to deal with, which aren't that hard. As you're running across them, just jump over them. Jump over to the next side right when you're about to hit the edge, and you should be able to catch on to the next part. There we go. Jump up, shoot Saturn. Work my way over. We should be coming up to the end relatively soon. It can't be that much more in this level. I think we got another Slinky to deal with first. I think. Running myself over here and drop down. So reach the button. Hey, look, there's another Slinky to deal with. And the best way, of course, to shoot him is as soon as he shoots out his chains, you have to directly fire into his eyeballs. A couple of supercharged shots are good enough to fully take out evil Slinky, and by defeating him, we now actually get to do battle finally with Ringman. It was a pretty long stage, actually. And considering in like some of the other stages in the Mega Man games previous to this one, this actually is a pretty decently long stage. Now here we go with Ringman, who fires out rings. I don't think that came as a shock to anyone in particular, that Ringman would fire rings out. He fires them out, and then of course he retracts them right back in like a boomerang, so that's why they're really a pain in the butt for me to dodge. Of course, if you run into him, like I have several times so far during the course of this battle, oh, come on. I'm not going to die on Ringman, am I? One more hit, one more good hit, come on. Oh, come on, there we go. Ringman's defeated. Well, of course, as he shoots at those rings and retracts them, you got to be really, really quick on the jump. Having Pharaoh Man's ability would do a lot of damage and take him out really quickly and make him a heck of a lot easier. But the Mega Buster gets the job done, at least for now. Okay, we get to see the nice little graphic. I actually really like this graphic of you getting the items. You know, of course, it's pretty much been in all of them, but I like the way just the Mega Man turns in like a semi-3D style thing, and you get to see the color change with his actual helmet and all. So I think it's pretty nicely done. Coming up next, it's going to be a great battle with Drill Man. Oh, fun for Drill Man. If I had Dive Man's ability, he would go a lot easier. So I thought I would mention, in case you don't already know, the weaknesses for each robot. I think I pretty much did a decent job at mentioning them in the other videos. I'm sure I forgot to at some point just because I get sidetracked while talking and playing the game. I don't remember all the time to mention fully the different ones, as I'm destroying one of these giant robots there. There we go. Having the Charge Buster really changed everything in Mega Man, because some people, you either love or hate the Mega Buster. Some people really didn't like the Mega Buster just because it changed a lot of the elements they of course were used to, and made some things I guess easier in the Mega Man series, so people weren't really happy by the addition of the Mega Buster, while others really liked it, especially if you probably played this one first and then went ahead and back and played Mega Man 3, 2, and 1. You would probably wonder why in the heck you couldn't charge your weapon, because it probably became such a part of your playing that any game previous to this one, you weren't quite sure what to do and had to really adjust, or you just ended up not liking the Mega Man games that came before this one, and then, you know, it's pretty much the opposite way of thinking for those who played the originals and then played this one. They're just like, well, that just makes it easier. That's unnecessary. Why did they do that? So I'm going to grab out my Rush Coil here in order to try to get this energy tank up here. There we go. Got an energy tank. First one of this game, and I probably will need to use at least one, maybe two during the course of the run, just like I had to do with Mega Man 3, and I had to use the one in Mega Man 2, but hopefully I don't have to use much more than that, just because, like I said, I'm better at this one than I am at Mega Man 3, but Ringman kicked my butt, so that's really not a good thing to go on yet. These rocks are falling from the ceiling. Of course, the Mega Buster itself would become a staple, I think, just, you know, after this one in particular, because the X series, when that started on the SNES, we started to see the Mega Buster all the time. The Mega Buster became a regular part, and it evolves to a ridiculous point. I mean, to the fact that when you charge it all the way up, and all in the later Mega Man X games in particular, I'm sure even in some of the, the Mega Man ZX, or Mega Man Zero games, whatever, whichever ones we're on now. I think, we're on ZX Advent. I think is the newest actual Mega Man game. I'm sure you can charge up your gun to a ridiculous amount and shoot some super humongous blast out. I mean, I just remember seeing it as it evolved in the different games, that the blasts became more and more ridiculous as the game went on. Here is Drill Man, who's really, really easy. He fires straight out drills that explode, which are really easy to dodge, and then he drills himself into the ground, which, when he's drilling himself into the ground, for whatever reason, you can't hurt him. He's, like, invulnerable for a few seconds as he drills himself into the ground. Like, right there, I wouldn't have been able to hit him. The thing about it is, just keep moving on the floor, and be prepared, because at any moment, Drill Man may pop up and smack you, and he will do a lot of damage if, when he comes out of the ground, you're standing above him. He'll end up taking a good chunk of your health out. He's almost done here. We got, like, one more hit. There it is, and there we go. Drill Man is taken care of, and we are now 3 Robot Masters down in Mega Man 4. The good thing is, unlike Mega Man 3, they didn't take all the robots from Mega Man 3 and re-implement them into Mega Man 4. So we don't, after we defeat all the 8 Robot Masters, we actually get to move on to, in this case, Dr. Kozak, I say Kozak, whatever, however you pronounce it. We actually go to his castle right away, instead of having to deal with the, doing the other levels that we've already done, but with Mega Man 3's bosses. We actually don't have to do that. We also are getting the Rush Jet for winning this battle, being Drill Man, which is a very, very useful weapon, which I will be using throughout this run. More than likely, anytime you see disappearing blocks, because if you've watched the other videos, you know I hate disappearing blocks. So, with that being a factor, as soon as I see them, I will more than likely be pulling out my Rush Jet or Rush Coil or anything that will help me get past even easier. Now here we go with Brightman's stage, and Brightman's fun. His level, of course, he would have something to do with lighting, obviously, I would hope. And as you can see from this beginning part, they try to make it a little bit challenging with the whole, if you shoot the light bulb, you lose light, and then the other guys shoot little fireworks out of the top of their head, and by doing so, they actually turn the lights back on. We got weird totem pole enemies. I wonder if they were originally, as they made them, did they think about the future when we actually would have a Native American themed robot in Tomahawk Man that would come in Mega Man 6, which is, I think, clearly the weirdest lineup of Robot Masters that we ever saw in the Mega Man franchise. I think would definitely come in Mega Man 6 with Centaur Man and Tomahawk Man and Yamada Man. It just, wow. And then we have Flame Man, who kind of looked like, an Indian, with a turban and everything. So it's like a lot of weird ethnicity kind of things, stereotype type things going on in Mega Man 6. As I actually don't have to go down to this portion of the level, but I am, because I wanted to grab an extra life, which I really shouldn't need, but an energy tank, another very, very crucial energy tank, because I have to make these very, very long jumps to get back across, and now I'm going to have to pull out my Rush Coil to jump up to this platform back up here, and to climb back up the ladder and actually be able to continue the level. But it's like a secret area that you don't have to do optional, but since it gives you an energy tank, it may of course be worth checking out when you do, anytime you play the game. Plus it's really easy to get through. The only things are, there's long jumps that are a little difficult, but if you have the Rush Jet at this point, you can just use that to fly right back across the whole level, as we kill more totem pole style enemies. Jumping across, and now we're on another grasshopper and more totem pole. It's kind of a weird setup here. We have spikes on the ground, totem pole style robots, and grasshoppers bouncing on spikes. I'm really not quite sure about the whole level design of this stage. The beginning made perfect sense with the light bulb and turning on the lights robots, and then we go into grasshoppers. Yeah, I'm not really quite sure. Of course, this part is hard, but even in the dark, you can still see where you have to jump because of the platforms that move, so at least they made it easier to get around this area. And of course, you want to quickly watch out for any projectiles that would knock you off your platform. Once you get over to the other side, of course there's another guy to light up the room again. As I'm following these bullets all the way across the screen. Okay, now we're in the boss area and we get to go one-on-one with Brightman. Here we go, there he is. Of course he has a light bulb on his head, appropriately at least. Very slow charge up of the health in this game. I don't know why they decided to slow up the health charge, but he actually is, of course, pretty easy. He has that he shoots a 3-shot spread shot as his main terms of weapons, and then he, freezes you, kind of like Flash Man from Mega Man 1, Mega Man 2. And, thing is, though, I think you can't get out of it until he hits you, which is unfortunate because he does a large amount of damage, of course, and the only reason why he's being able to do so much damage to me is because he's actually been able to hit me with it. One more hit. There we go. Brightman is defeated. If we actually had